What's poppin' West Coast?
What's up with you, man?
I ain't seen you in a minute, man. How you been?
Shoot, I've been good, man. Just been good. Just been a little bit under the weather, man, and handle some family business.
I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. I've just been watching 105.3 The Fan. As y'all know, Rashawn Gary has gone to the Dallas Cowboys. I've heard a lot of reports that he didn't show up when Micah got hurt. That's why they got rid of him. I think they said he didn't have any sacks or any pressures the last 9 games for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is the one thing that right now is the season. My only thing is this, man. Like, there's characteristics of players, like A players, B players, C player. I think Gary is more of a C player right now. I'm just hoping that the Dallas Cowboys aren't using any C players with the hopes that they could be A players. You know what I'm saying? Because we need A players right now. You know what I'm saying? We have a bunch of Gary's types on our team right now. You know what I'm saying? And listen to me, and I'm not saying that he can't come in here and be beneficial, but and I'm not saying he can't come in here and contribute as well either. But I'm just saying that I just don't want the Dallas Cowboys to be trying to, to use, C types of players, to replace A type players because, you know, I don't think anybody can really show up when Micah Parsons leaves because Micah Parsons is that type of player. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless Micah Parsons is an ace style player. So, I don't think it was fair of Green Bay to even think that he was going to, be that type of player to try to replace Micah Parsons because, the Dallas Cowboys saw their whole defense collapse when Micah Parsons left. So, I don't, if he could have replaced Micah Parsons or filled in for Micah Parsons, they wouldn't have went and got Micah Parsons. You know what I mean? Micah Parsons is an irreplaceable player. I think the Cowboys seen that themselves. You know what I'm saying? He's an irreplaceable type of talent. You know what I'm saying? So, I think Gary is a good player, but I think he is more of a role player. And the Dallas Cowboys, we like to use role players and try to use them as key as as leading actors. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have to obviously, see, go and see and go and see what happens from there. But obviously, it's a position of need. I hope that he doesn't. My only hope is that the Cowboys don't. I just don't hope that the Cowboys don't feel that he's their fix all at the position. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like I hope that the Dallas Cowboys still feel that they need more. But defensive line, defensive end, that is a rotational player. I mean, that's a rotational thing, meaning you want waves of them. You want it to be like waves of player, waves of guys. You know what I'm saying? Waves of them means you want to have multiple. You know what I'm saying? So my only hope is that, that he's just one of the bricks. But I'm just hoping that the Dallas Cowboys aren't thinking that he's going to be the whole wall for them.
Yeah, I mean, we're still waiting to see if the Trey Hendrickson rumor is true that was tweeted earlier. But we got Rashawn Gary for sure so far, but it's not official until I
For
guess
a seventh round pick, too.
no
What they
fourth
got him
round.
for is a steal. So,
Rashawn Gary
the value is definitely on the Dallas Cowboys because they definitely got the value. You know what I'm saying? They definitely won as far as the value because for a seventh round pick, you got a player that's definitely better than a seventh round pick for sure.
I think they had to give up a fourth round or fifth round pick for him.
Hey, look it up for me real quick to make sure, just so we can make sure.
Well, they said it's a 4, but it's a late 5. That's what they said on 105.3 The Fan. It's like having a 5 because it's going to be a late 4 because we're going to be good next year
In this year's draft.
in this next year's draft. No,
Okay, so then that's good. Then that's reassurance. That's definitely reassurance. Then that makes me feel good. But
yep.
hey, let's go through everything that I missed over the last month, man. If you don't mind.
Yeah. So basically, the only thing that's really happened is rumors about Max Crosby that came up. Trey
George Pickens.
George Pickens is not signed yet. They franchise tag him, but people can come and talk to him today. So we're going to talk little bit about that because um, the New England Patriots are looking for a receiver, and they could come talk to George for two
Yeah.
first round. If a
Hey,
team
real
wants
quick.
they have to give us 2 first round picks for him.
Hey, real quick. Shout out my boy Michael McQuarrie. What's up, my boy? What's up, Elijah? What's up, world? What's up with my boy? Appreciate you. What's up, Freddie? What's up, Sadiq? What's up, Lewis? What's up, all y'all, man? Appreciate y'all for the love, man. Y'all know life be lifing sometimes, and sometimes you gotta life it back. You know what I'm saying? So I just been lifing back. But yeah, man. Just to talk about, I never got a chance to talk about George Pickens. I mean, I do like the fact that I know that, I like the fact that two things. I like the fact that the Cowboys. I already knew that the Cowboys were going to franchise tag him. Um, in my opinion, when you franchise tag a player like George Pickens without like the Cowboys still don't, to them, it makes a lot of this stuff makes sense to them, but it don't make sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, if what he did for the Cowboys last year and what he brought to this team, it was excitement. You know what I'm saying? He brought a lot of yards, and there was times where he led the league in multiple statistics that you would want a wide receiver to lead the league in. So I think that like the Cowboys need, like they always in this, we want to see more phase. And it's like, sometimes you don't need to see more. You've seen enough. You know what I'm saying? And I think, in my opinion, I feel like the Cowboys have seen enough from George Pickens for them to want to sign him. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that, you know, I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way as far as me, what I'm about to say about CeeDee Lamb. But I think if CeeDee Lamb wasn't on this team, they probably would have signed him already. You know what I'm saying? But I think a part of the Cowboys probably are thinking like, if CeeDee Lamb wouldn't have had like moments of like down, would George Pickens still wouldn't have been able to produce. But my thing is this, like, I love the fact that he was able to step up when CeeDee Lamb, had his little moments last year, because that's going to happen to everybody, bro. Like, that's going to happen to everybody. Like, the NFL is like any other sport. Like, you can't expect anybody to be, no one is elite 17 games of the season. That's just, nobody is, man. Like, that's just not how football, that's the great thing about football, is there's going to be their highs and there's going to be their lows. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be ups and downs, right? So it's like, since there's going to be ups and downs, you have to like prepare for that, man. It's like having a backup plan for your backup plan. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you should always, why would, and also think about this, the way the NFL is going, the way the people are throwing the ball in 2026, every team has a 1A and a 1B. And guess what? Those guys a lot of times will switch. You know what I'm saying? One week it'll be this guy, the next week it'll be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because defenses, they watch film and they prepare for players. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be weeks where CeeDee Lamb could just be in the zone, but guess what? The defense is putting him in a position where he's not able to do much. So you want to be able to have that next guy that you can get the ball to. So, the world of the one, even think about the Dallas Cowboys in their heyday, when they were winning Super Bowls. Yeah, we had Michael Irvin, but we also had what? We also had another guy that could get open when he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So, I think the Dallas Cowboys, man, I just wish that they would reward people for the things that they do, man. Like, I hate when people go out here and have stellar seed. Like, when you traded for him, that was the moment right there where when you were taking a risk, you were taking a chance. So it's like, why when you traded for him, you literally told him to a degree, we want you to go out here and prove that you were worth the trade. So my question is this, man, did he or did he not prove it? I believe that he did prove it. I believe that he proved it. You know what I'm saying? I believe that he proved that he is worth the contract. So to give him a franchise tag in a season that we don't really have any other guy that's even worth giving the franchise tag to. You know what I mean? Like, I believe you should only give a franchise tag to a guy that you don't trust. You know what I'm saying? Or that you don't necessarily, that you want to see more. I think you've seen enough. I think you've seen enough for him to be able to go out there and say, hey, we've seen enough. We want to see you do this on a contract, right? And then also, like, what the franchise tag, what does it do to the player psyche now? It's $27 million is a lot of money, man. So I know he definitely feels good about that. But at the same time, it's a 1-year deal. And Charles Barkley, he don't say a lot of smart stuff. But one thing Charles Barkley did say that was very, very smart is great players don't play on 1-year deals because it don't benefit them at all. It only benefits the organization. You know what I'm saying? So, and I always remember him for saying that. But, so for George Pickens, like, my question to him is, like, if you already feel like you've proven to this team on a 1-year deal, because that's last year was basically a 1-year deal, why is there a need for me to prove it again? You know what I'm saying? So, and the Cowboys always get into this. They always get into this. Jerry Jones said he was going to spend all this money in free agency, talking about he bet he was going to do that. Okay, well, spend it on your player first, then.
Did you hear?
Like, what more money can you spend? Like, you had the number one offense. You had like a top 5 offense last year in a losing season, man. Like, if you gonna turn this ship around, you at least can't go worse. You can't get, if we listen to me, if we had George Pickens last year, a happy George Pickens, and we still couldn't make the playoffs, what are we going to do with an upset George Pickens? And I'm saying upset because I don't know who's to say how he's going to respond off of a franchise tag and you asking him to go prove it to himself again. I know what a happy George Pickens looks like. I don't necessarily want to go find out, how he responds. Like that's just like there's just certain things that you can avoid. And I think the Cowboys can hopefully hopefully the Cowboys are just, and then another thing, like people be like, oh yeah, well, a lot of times they just do this because they just waiting to get a deal. Well, bro, what are you waiting for? Listen to me. George Pickens is not a dude that you're like, you got to call him on the phone or you got to call his agent. Bro, you're walking through the hallway and you can literally see him. So it's like the moment the Cowboys got him, they should have been thinking about if he does this, we're going to give him this. And I'm going to tell you, today they should have rewarded him. Today, George Pickens should be rewarded by getting a contract. They should be getting, and then the dope thing about it is
being tagged either.
Huh?
He hasn't even said anything about being tagged either.
Yeah, man. And I'm happy because if he hasn't said anything, that means he probably has something to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the quietest man in the room ain't always the loudest man in the room might be the weakest man in the room, but who knows, man.
Yeah, so my thoughts are like I said, I don't want, I saw what unhappy George Pickens was doing in Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? The reason why he was traded in the first place. So it's like, Cowboys, why put yourself in that same position as Pittsburgh, man? Like, reward people for the good things they've done, discipline people for the bad things they've done. That's pretty white and black. I mean, black and white, they say. That's pretty black and white. If he didn't do good, you don't sign him. If he did do good, you sign him. And that's some of that stuff should be pretty cut and dry. So in my opinion, I don't agree with the friend, even though I expected it and knew it was going to happen. Why? Because I've been a Dallas Cowboy fan for 43 years now. So I kind of understand how they do business. But, at the same token, I just feel like if Jerry Jones is up here speaking about how he's about to spend all this money in free agency, why not start now?
Yeah, he's he should have been signed already. They know he's a proven talent. They know that he's a dog. They need to sign him. Like, what are they playing games for and letting other teams talk to him and flirt with him? That's dumb. They should already have Sean and him. And I guarantee you somebody's going to offer 2 first-round picks for him today and pay him the $40 million a year he wants.
Yeah, and then
watch out for New England to do it, or watch out for another team might come in that needs a wide receiver and do it, like the Raiders. Who knows? Because they got a bunch of picks now. So,
yeah, and I mean, the Raiders need a quarterback for sure.
Well, they're going to keep their first rounder, but they're going to give us the number 14 pick that they got from the Ravens. The Ravens have pick 14. So they give us pick 14. That means we'll have 12, 14, and 20, and then they'll probably give us a first round next year.
And that's for George Pickens?
Mm-hmm. And if we don't match that $40 million a year, he can go. We got to match whatever the other team offers.
Yeah.
And then the same thing.
The best thing the Cowboys could have did with George Pickens is extended him last year, man, off his rookie deal. Like that, I mean, they couldn't.
Too, because he's a second round tender on him. So if somebody wants to give up their second round pick to us and they offer him more money and we don't match it, he can go to that other team. If somebody comes and offers him $8.5 million and Dallas says no to, let's say, Green Bay, because Green Bay wants a kicker, that might be why they gave us Rashawn Gary, bro. Look for Aubrey to maybe go to Green Bay today. That's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing that I don't think the NFL view, just to switch. Well, let me just finish off my pivot on George Pickens. This is the thing. Having two wide receivers making it that type of money, that's just the new, that's 2026, man. That's why the franchise tag goes. I mean, not franchise. That's why the cap goes up every year. The cap goes up every year. Why? Because bread goes up every year. The price of milk goes up every year. The price of gasoline goes up every year. Nothing is going down. The price of airplane tickets go up here. The price of Cowboy tickets, even though we ain't made the playoffs in 2 years, are going up. They're going up, right? So, Like that's just the times we live in. That's the times we live in. So complaining about the money is neither here or there. I would rather be complaining about the money on a player that I don't know can produce versus a guy that I know that can produce. So it's like, and then I heard the comments with Dak Prescott telling George Pickens to bet on himself, basically meaning do what you got to do to get the most money you got to get. You know what I'm saying? Wherever that is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you this. I don't believe in players taking less money to stay with teams. I believe in teams playing players. Why? Because teams don't get older. Players do. You know what I'm saying? 15, 20 years from now, the Dallas Cowboys are still going to be a team. They're still going to be an organization. But 15, 20 years from now, George Pickens is going to be somebody's grandpa. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, you have to get what you can get all about right now. And you will never get more money than you'll ever get on your first contract, on your first extension. Your first extension is always going to be the big contract. That's the one that you don't take less money on. Why? Because that's the one you really earned. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember your rookie contract, your rookie deal is based on where you got picked at. It's based on what you did in college too. It's not based on what you're doing in the NFL currently. This contract that George Pickens gets signed right now is based on what he's done in the NFL. So you should get every dollar. You know what I'm saying? So, it's the Cowboys' way of doing business, man. Like I said, I don't agree with him getting a franchise tag. I agree with Jerry Jones doing what he said, and that is spending money. He said he was going to spend some money. Why are you willing to go spend top money to go bring in players you don't know when you're not willing to spend money on the current players that you have? Like I don't even think that's. I think that's weird. I think that's weird. You know what I'm saying? And I could see why a player would feel some type of way. Like I could see how a player would feel some type of way, but with George Pickens not being vocal and not doing, doing any dropping any Instagram quotes or any Instagram memes or anything
Jerry
like
had a
that.
talk with him though. Jerry had a
Huh?
talk with him.
Say it again.
Jerry had a talk with him. He said, "Oh yeah, I talked to him, and he said that me and George had a great conversation, and he's excited to be tagged. That means he's one of our premier players that we want to keep." And
Yeah,
George,
Jerry Jones is also a liar though too, and Jerry Jones is also a guy that's supposed to say whatever he's supposed to say. To appease the crowd and to make sure that those tickets get sold too. But my thing is this, I ain't never heard of a player getting tagged that was happy to get tagged unless you were a player that didn't think you were going to get a contract. You know what I mean? Like George Pickens was a first round pick. Like if you're a fifth round pick or something, and you had to scrape and scrabble to get yourself in the NFL, I get it. But George Pickens was a All-American in high school. That dude was a top receiver in college. He was a first round pick in the NFL draft. Man, he has been waiting for this day for a very, very long time. And I'm not believing Jerry Jones, a billionaire, on him saying that he's excited about being a franchise tag player. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. Do I believe Jerry Jones said it? Yeah, I believe he said it, but I don't believe George Pickens believed that. Jerry Jones is someone's great great grandpa, and guess what? Sometimes great great grandpa, they'll buy their kids gifts that they believe are good and give them a pair of
well,
skates, and you be like, dang, kids don't even skate no more.
Dak Prescott came out and he said publicly, "I played on a tag for 2 years in a row, and I got rewarded for it. I bet on myself, and I won." And
Yeah, but I'm gonna listen to me. Dak didn't get rewarded for it because Dak didn't get rewarded for it because he had to wait 2 years. And remember, Dak also got hurt too.
yeah,
George Pickens been healthy.
it's over. Yeah,
So that's a totally different situation. The first year Dak played on the franchise tag, he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? He only played 5 games. My question is this: when do the Jerry Jones should have learned from that? Why would you what if you put this dude on a franchise tag and the same thing happened to Dak? He get hurt. Now you got $27 million guaranteed for freaking for like. And I'm gonna tell you this: I was against Dak Prescott doing it. You know what I mean? Like I was against him doing it. I had the same stance when Dak did it. So you know what I mean? Yeah, Dak probably did that, and Dak did do that. But Dak also got hurt on the franchise tag and only played 5 games. So my question is, when did the Dallas Cowboys learn from their mistakes? They should have learned from Dak. Now I don't think that was a good example. And Dak Prescott is a guy that, man, listen to me. Dak Prescott, he making so much money, he gonna support the organization. He's the face of the organization. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying he's a company guy, but Dak is a company guy. And he's supposed to. The type of money you're paying him, he's a company guy. $60-something million. He's a company guy. You know what I'm saying? But what Dak Prescott is telling him on the low, who's to say?
he's got CeeDee Lamb and Dak to help coach him through it. You just got to be patient with the Joneses, man. You get
Which
out
is
and
not
look
fair to
like
the player because you still got to play in 6 months.
if Micah just would have been patient, he'd still be here, but he got impatient and he has the wrong David Mulligetta. That guy's horrible, man.
Man, that guy is great. Man, listen to me. We got to stop thinking.
Players
We
he
got to
is,
stop thinking what the Dallas Cowboy fan had and start thinking as a player. Like, let's just be real. If your son was Micah Parsons, you would be an excited man right now. Why? Because your son is the highest paid defensive player ever. You tell me if you take that cowboy hat on and you put on your son's jersey right now. I'm talking about your son, not the Cowboys hat. Your son's hat. If you were Micah Parsons' dad, you would be excited for your
oh yeah,
son, no
I'll be
matter where he plays. Why? Because he's the highest paid defensive player ever. That's generational wealth. My question as a fan of the Cowboys would be like, why do players have to go through this? Micah Parsons was a proven talent. Why did he have to go through this? Why the Dallas Cowboys? Why is it always that the player has to be bigger than the organization? That's not right. When does the organization actually reward players for what they do? Micah Parsons should have been rewarded for what he did. Why do you draft a dude 11th overall, 12th overall? He go out there, be one of the first players in your franchise and in the NFL to have like 50 sacks in his first season. What more else is the dude supposed to prove? Like, to be honest with you, it's crazy that the Green Bay Packers valued Micah Parsons more than the Dallas Cowboys did, and the Dallas Cowboys drafted him.
He's the LeBron James of the NFL, but he got hurt, man. So,
Who?
I mean, Micah. I don't know when he's coming back. Maybe middle of the season. He tore his ACL in that Denver game.
Yeah, and think about this: if he would have been a Dallas Cowboys on a low end contract, that's why I liked it. I like.
He would
Listen
have
to
made
me.
more money in Dallas in the long run because of the taxes and the better deals he would have got, like franchise deals and stuff. You know.
I mean, I don't know, because taxes ain't that goddamn much. You ain't taxes ain't nothing. They ain't listen to me.
We don't
Listen.
have
We ain't
one.
got a problem paying taxes. Everybody
Wisconsin
going to pay taxes and go meet God at some point. So we are not going to take less money so we can save money on taxes. Now we're going to take more money and just get a better tax attorney. You know what I'm saying? There's millions of ways you can get around not paying taxes. Why you think all these guys be having all these what do they call? They be having all these nonprofit organizations and be giving away food and all. Listen to me. Nipsey Hussle said we gonna get them. We gonna, Lord forgive me when I say this, but we gonna get a Hebrew and he gonna cook them books and we gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't gonna stop. We ain't gonna take less money so we can pay less taxes, because you still got to pay taxes. I would rather just pay more money on more taxes.
That's Wisconsin 7.65. So whatever that is on 47 million.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're never gonna get around not paying taxes anyway. So I would give me more money. I can get a good tax attorney that can figure some loopholes.
Do some
50 billion
write-offs.
loopholes that you can have to
Oh
get
yeah,
around paying
I had to
taxes
buy
and
a
getting
new
around doing
shoulder
stuff.
pad that cost me $20,000. You know,
Huh?
I had to buy a new shoulder pad that cost me 20 grand, or I had to. You can write off that stuff, man. All the stuff you have to use.
Yeah, exactly, man. There's all you can figure when they got some Hebrews that cook them books. Man, they put some salt and pepper on that thing. Had that for real, bro. For real. They'll cook them books will be streaming. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, we'll see if anybody talks to George Pickens today. It's going to be a crazy
I mean,
day.
they should.
Legal tampering starts in 30 minutes.
They should. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I like, if you to go sign Trey Henderson and you only franchising George Pickens is crazy, because George Pickens is a proven talent over Trey Henderson. Trey Henderson only had 7.5 sacks last year. I know he was hurt, but guess what? I ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to still pay you like you can play right now and you can produce like you had the 17.5 sacks 2 years ago. And George Pickens is younger. You know, you need to keep what's intact. You know what I'm saying? And that is, you had a high-powered offense last year with a horrible defense. So you can't take away from the offense and think that the defense is going to get better, because the defense still ain't good. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, you need both. And you know what I mean? I get so tired of the Dallas Cowboys taking chances on everybody else's kids, but won't take a chance on their own. Brandon Aubrey. Somebody was talking about Brandon Aubrey. Kickers making $7.5 million. That is crazy, bro. I remember. I don't even think we had a running back on our team last year that had made $7.5 million last year. So a kicker making $7.5 million is crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you, Brandon Aubrey. I love you. You listen to me. You my wigger. If you don't get no bigger, and if you get bigger, you'll just be my bigger wigger. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? If we were
Hey,
alive,
that's
I'd
a
say the other
highlight.
word, but you my wigger. If you don't ever get no bigger, and if you ever get bigger, you'll just be my bigger wigger. You know what I'm saying? But listen to me, bro. $6.5 million to kick a football through an upright. I don't know. My question is this: how many games were decided by a kick last year? Somebody tell me that question, because I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you think about it, two things the Dallas Cowboys know how to pick really, they've done fairly well over the last like 10 seasons: offensive linemen and kickers, bruh. Listen, I remember a time we had this dude named Dan Bailey. Who was he? Who was he? And then we had another dude, like the Cowboys. We have a knack, unfortunately, for finding good kickers. So I mean, if you don't want to pay them, just you need to go find another dude. But I don't want to be talking about no damn kicker making me the highest paid kicker in football if we ain't winning at least 4 or 5 games by 3 points. Like if we like, I'm just being honest with you. And listen to me. There be times where you don't, and some of these long field goals, I don't even be agreeing with them, bruh. Like I don't want my kicker out here making 58-yard field goals. I want my offense to convert.
That's a
Like,
catch-22. That's what they were saying too. They're like, if we didn't have that's like a crutch. Like, oh,
thank you. That's what I'm saying.
well, we
Like,
can
bro,
just
I
kick
don't
a
want him out
field
here
goal.
kicking 58 and 60-yard field goals, man. I want my offense to be better and convert.
Hey, be like the Lions, man. They go for it on fourth down. They don't ever punt or kick a field goal.
Yeah, it's like, let's go back to the days where kickers had the one face mask bar. Why? Because they ain't do nothing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like if your kicker got to make $7.5 million, $6 million, your team's probably not good. I'm just being honest
right,
with you. Because
bro.
teams that have really good kickers, and it means they kick a lot. That means what? That means your offense isn't converting.
Yeah, because
Like, let's go for it more on fourth down.
in the back of Dak
Reasonable
Prescott's
situations,
mind, he's like,
obviously.
the back of Dak Prescott's mind, he's like, we're good. We got him over there. He'll just make the field goal.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the defense is like, if this mother don't make it, we got to defend 40 yards.
And he
Like, I don't
missed a
even think the
few.
Cowboys defense is good enough to be doing that. Like, sometimes we should punt the ball, bro.
He missed a lot of field goals at the end of the year last year. He missed a couple that could have won us a game or two, you know.
Yeah,
But
we
he
weren't really good either, so
but
I get it.
then he
But
made some that put us to where we won, that Giant game I was at, where it was just crazy going back and forth, and he hit that, what was it, a 65-yarder to put us into overtime, and then hit like a 60-yarder to win it
yeah, versus the Giants.
against the Giants, yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, versus the Giants. Like, bruh, our offense just needs to be better at converting. I think to me right now, kickers to me, I view it more as a crutch. I'm just being honest with you. Like, I view it more as a crutch.
It could be good and bad, because, look at Green Bay. The reason why they lost 2 or 3 games this last year is because their kicker missed the field goal,
Yeah, but also if Micah Parsons would have been healthy, they probably wouldn't have been in those situations. So,
and then they would have had home field advantage in the playoffs, but instead they didn't.
but think about this. A lot of those needs were there because Micah Parsons was also injured too. So, if you have star players, what I've noticed, like who's the kicker? Who's the kicker? What was the kicker? Who was the kicker for the Seattle Seahawks this year?
He was
Nobody
good.
knows. Who's the kicker for the Patriots this year? Nobody knows. Who's the kicker for the Chiefs the year they won the Super Bowls? Nobody knows. Better question. Who are the kickers for the Dallas Cowboys the year they won the Super Bowls in the 90s? Nobody knows. You know what I mean? Why? Because we had Michael Irvin, we had Emmitt Smith, we had Troy Aikman, we had real offensive players. Listen to me. The only time your kicker is considered an offensive player is when your offense ain't good.
Hey, but there's another thing I gotta tell you, bro. There might be making a rule next year where if it's over a 60-yard field goal, you get 4 points instead of 3 now.
That's ridiculous. I would vote against that 100%.
Yeah, because then let's say you're up by 3, someone can kick a field goal and beat you now if
Yeah,
it's over
I would
60 yards.
absolutely disagree with that. And Vegas is gonna listen to me. That's not gonna pass because of Vegas. That's like change. And then there's just listen to me. Football is 112 years old. Who the hell do they think they are to go change some rule from?
Oh, and then they're gonna do a 3-point conversion where instead of going for it on the 2-yard line for an extra point, you go for it on like the 7-yard line. And if you get it, you get 3 points instead of 2.
No, stop it, NFL. That's like the NBA changing the basketball, and they did it for half a season and they left. Stop it right
Even
now.
even making the extra game where they got to play an extra game a season was stupid because now, even though what's his name broke the sack record, what's his name's well, I did it in 17 games. Miles Garrett did it in 18, and I did it in 17.
I mean, that's just how it is. You got to think, 70 years ago, there was only 11 games. So, I mean, that's just, it doesn't take from the greatness of either player, I don't believe.
Well, did you hear about Tua getting released? And Miami Dolphins are taking like a $99 million cap hit by releasing Tua.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not saying they salute to Tua for getting his money.
And
But
Minka Fitzpatrick went to the Dolphins. I mean, to the Jets for a 7th-round pick. Dallas.
Yeah, the Jets keep on bringing in the same quarterback too, just different name, literally. What up with you, word D? They literally, they just keep on bringing in the same quarterback.
Who knows?
Like they had Justin Fields, who was a short quarterback. They had now they went and got you know what I mean? They literally keep on bringing in the same quarterback. But that lets me know that the Jets will probably be very active trying to get a quarterback. The Jets probably going to try to get a quarterback next year because from what I hear, the draft class for next year's quarterback is going to be a little bit better than what it is this year. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're just going to hold and wait. And then they're also the New York Jets, so they have a history of making the bad decisions.
Well, they got Minka Fitzpatrick, and a lot of people in Dallas are mad because we wanted him. But I think they're going to go after that Thompson guy from Arizona.
Yeah, we'll see. But like I said, man, when you're talking about a kicker, that means your offense probably is not doing their job. I'm just being real with you. I mean, like they're not doing their job. You know what I'm saying? I would rather my offense be better at converting than, out here making 65-yard kicks. And most games in the NFL aren't even won by 3 points anyway. So yeah, I would rather them can be better, focus on how we can get better at converting. Because I mean, you're not even past the 50-yard line. You got to get past the 50-yard line. That should be the focus. That should be the focus. Focus should be every drive should end on the other side of the 50-yard line. Because if you can end on the other side of the 50-yard line, you know what that means? That means you don't need a kicker making $60 million because most kickers in the NFL can make kickers from 40 to 30 yards. Like we need to get back to making this normal. Like we're making 60-yard field goals. That means we did not convert. That means our offense was 3 and out. You know what I'm saying? That means we didn't get much yards because you're basically getting the ball on the 25-yard line now. If you're making 60-yard kicks, that means, bro, you got 20-something yards. No, your offense needs to be better. The mindset needs to be, we're going to sign George Pickens, so we don't need Brandon Aubrey. Why? Because George Pickens is going to help us get on the other side of the 50. Then this no-name kicker that don't nobody know about, making no money, he can make some field goals.
Well, that's why they think I think that's why he's asking for $10 million is because the NFL might do that. And I would hate that if they did do that. And they said the closer you are, it goes down. Let's say you only kick a 10-yard field goal, it's 2 points from like 10 to 40.
They're not gonna. I'm gonna be honest. They're not gonna. I don't believe that. I don't believe they're gonna. Like you got to remember, these NFL owners have been in the NFL for. These guys have been owning teams for 60 and 70 years. If they didn't change it then. Like there was a time in the NFL where they weren't really scoring and they weren't changing it then. And I'm gonna tell you, nobody wants to put that much strength because most kickers can't make 60-yard kicks. Like there's only like 1 or 2 in the NFL that can even make 60-yard kicks. So that wouldn't even be something that would be beneficial to every kicker. You would just be changing a rule literally so it could benefit 2 dudes. Like that's not something that would benefit all 32 teams. And if you're the Detroit Lions, why would you vote against that? The Detroit Lions is like, if you're like, I don't think anything like that would ever come into pass. I mean, yeah, they're talking about it, but I don't think it'll actually pass because then teams are like, now I got to go find a dude that can make a 60-yard kick and pay him for that. Yeah, right. I'm just going to have my offense convert better.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing football, not soccer,
Thank you. That's why I said I don't believe they'll do it because I don't believe they might talk about it, but I don't believe they'll ever do it. And if I was the owner, I would vote against it because now you just made me now because of 4 point. Now I got to go find a dude that can make a 60-yard kick. How many of them dudes even exist in the world? The NFL showed you only one last year. So that's only something that would benefit the Cowboys. Yeah, the Cowboys might be all, hey, let's do it. But all the 31 other teams would be like, no, that makes no sense. How about y'all just convert better?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think it'll ever happen, but I think they're doing it like in the UFL or something like that.
Yeah.
to test it. But yeah, I think they should bring back the pass interference replay, where like if it's a off, you know how like sometimes they'll call offensive or defensive pass interference. I think they should be able to challenge that.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing, man. You gotta, as long as there's humans involved in anything, you have to allow a degree of mistakes. Like we're trying to make a game perfect. If that's the case, if we're gonna review that, we need to review. What about why not review flags that don't get called? Like what
You
about
know
when people get held?
the
Like
Brandon
when
Cooks
David
deal?
Irvin got held in 2000, what was that? 2014, 16. When David Irvin got held against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers was able to get the ball to the tight end down the field and make that field goal to put us out the playoffs. Why
Yeah,
not review that?
exactly.
Like we could clearly see he got held. His jersey, his shoulder pads was all up in his face. Why can't review that? Like I would rather review. Honestly, I don't really pass interference. Don't really. I mean, most of the times when listen to me, most of the time I'm a cornerback. Most of the time when a referee calls a pass interference, it typically is. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
Like people always say, you gotta play, you gotta turn and look for the ball. No, you don't. That is not an NFL rule. That is not an NFL rule. You do not have to turn and look for the ball. No, you do not. You cannot play the wide receiver. You have to play on the ball. And guess what? If your shoulder, if your helmet is a face is facing the receiver, you can play the wide receiver's chin. Basically, meaning when he looks up, he's looking for the ball. You can look up too. You know what I'm saying? That's why most fans be thinking that, oh, it's, that's not a pass interference. Yeah, most of the time, I'm gonna be honest with you, most of the time when people get pass interference, it's a pass interference. You just disagree because it's on your team. But most of the time it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it
Yeah,
is.
that's true. But what about that Brandon Cooks catch, Buffalo Bills in Denver? Did you see that?
Yeah, but listen to me. There's always going to be a one-off, but you can't change. You don't change for the one-off. You change for the majority. You know what I'm saying? If something is majority
Ball
wrong,
goes to the
like it's
offense though, right?
consistently happening, then you do that. But you can't change. You can't change it. You can't change a whole rule for the one-off. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like there are more. I don't really care about I don't really care about reviewing pass interference more than I care about reviewing holding calls. Like people that just flat out get held on the line of scrimmage that don't. Because you got to think like this. If it's a pass interference, that means the ball's already off. But think
Like
about how many times Micah Parsons got held.
that's one reason why I think Dallas was wanting to get rid of him because the league wasn't calling holding. You know, you know how many holding calls we should have gotten that could have won us ball games.
The Cowboys wanted to get rid of Micah Parsons because he wanted more money than they wanted to spend. And that's just the clear facts. If Micah Parsons was willing to take less money, he'd be a Cowboy. You know what I'm saying? But the Cowboys was not about to make him the highest paid defensive player in the league while having one of the highest paid corners in the league and a defense that's underachieving. And to be honest with you, they saw a deal that made sense. Like you got 2 first rounds picked for the guy. Like, it sucks that he wasn't able to stay in Dallas, but it just that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and Micah Parsons was more open to leaving than staying. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand business happens for a reason, but at the same time, I think the Cowboys should have paid him. And I think last year we paid for it. Like we flat out paid for it. Like we traded Micah Parsons and it costed us a season. Just like when the NFL suspended Zeke, it cost us a season. But
It's
I would
true.
if they want to change a rule, change the rule about the holding. That's what I'm more interested in. Because man,
Not,
that happens way more than pass interference.
not to change the subject, but did you hear about what Skip Bayless said last night about Jerry Jones?
I don't listen to Skip Bayless or Stephen A. Smith or anybody that's talking Cowboys unless I know them personally and I can call them on their cell phone. So
Oh,
no, I didn't. I didn't hear. I don't listen to none of them dudes. To be honest with you,
yeah.
Skip Bayless. I've literally seen Skip Bayless take his Cowboy jersey off, throw it in the trash, and then 6 days later pretend like he's going in the trash and pulling it out. So I mean,
He's just always trying to stir up drama, man. He was
that's
talking
his job,
Jerry
though.
Jones.
I mean, if he's not starting drama, you're not relevant. Like part of we gotta. He's an entertainer. He's not in the same business that we're in. You know what I'm saying? Like he has, like if I can get on here and say what I want about the Dallas Cowboys, and still my bills are still going to get paid. He kind of has a script, and then a lot of that stuff that Skip Bayless them dudes do, it's all scripted. Like one guy's going to be the bad guy, another guy's going to be the good guy. It's the movies. It's the movies. It's the entertainment version of what we do. Like, I think if you're really looking for real content, you got to look for guys like Mike, who pays his bills based off what he does off camera, not based on what he does on the camera. Because if you have to pay your bills based on what you do on camera, yeah, you're going to be on here saying some explosive stuff and saying stuff because you got bills to pay. And I don't knock any man for having bills to pay and trying to get them paid. That's why I don't listen to Skip and Stephen A. Smith. Like once I realized that, like I literally saw Mike at the Cowboys versus Tampa Bay game in the playoffs. I literally saw Stephen A. Smith come on, walk down before the games, before the show started. He came down the stairs and he had a Cowboy jersey on. He was getting the crowd all pumped up and excited and for the playoff game. Getting everybody all excited. Then he literally went on camera, took the jersey off, and started talking crazy to Zeke's dad and to freaking I forgot the other dude's dad, but started talking crazy to him. Like that's why I realized I already knew it, but that's when I saw it in person. Like it's literally like Stephen A. Smith don't hate the Dallas Cowboys as much as he gets paid to hate the Dallas Cowboys or pretend like he hates the Cowboys. It's not that serious to him. What's more important to him is ratings. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, if we went through the era of the sex tape where everybody had a sex tape. Why? Because that's what was selling. Well, guess what? Ragging on the Cowboys is what sells. And he's the protagonist. He's the bad guy. He's the bane of our Batman. That's just what it is. Like someone has to be the bad guy. And that's his job. That's what he gets paid to do. And he gets paid at a very, very high rate. So it's like if you want to get accurate you want to get accurate information about your Cowboys, you got to get it from someone that's not getting paid based off the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Not just real. That's why I don't listen to them dudes. I don't listen to them. I don't pay attention to them because you never know when they're just saying stuff for ratings. Somebody said, yeah, he disappeared when Micah got hurt, but he's back with his boy Kenny Clark. That should help on the chemistry. I mean, we shall see. I've heard rumors that the Dallas Cowboys possibly trading one of their defensive tackles because we currently have 3 defensive tackles that are currently making $20 million each. Kenny Clark is making over $20 million. Osia Odighizuwa is making over $20 million. And then you have Quentin Williams, who's making over $20 million. That's $60 million on the defensive line. And your defense was still butt. You know what I'm saying? So we shall see. I believe one of them dudes is probably going to get traded. I feel like it'll probably be you probably get more value with Osia Odighizuwa because he's younger. But we shall see. But I don't foresee all 3 of them dudes being on the team. Quentin Williams is not getting traded. But I could easily see the Dallas Cowboys trading one of those dudes.
Well, I heard that Osa was in the package for Max Crosby.
I mean, I'm happy Max Crosby fell through.
Me too. I think our draft picks are going to be awesome, dude. I think we're going to get some really good players in this year's draft. Jacob Rodriguez, CJ Allen are 2 good linebackers, and then you got Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles, and we can trade up, and get Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs. We can give Cleveland, our 6 and our 14 or our 12 and 20 for their 6 and like 37th or 36th.
Yeah, and then
basically we get an early second rounder where we could get Jacob Rodriguez and still get like Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs.
Yeah, and then man, like I think the most sacks Micah Parsons ever had in one season was like 14 and a half or something like that. Like, I don't think the Cowboys will ever let a guy like Myles Garrett just run up a bunch of sacks on them. I just don't believe they will. Like, we rotate guys way too much. Like, part of the reason why Myles Garrett gets all those sacks is because, bro, who's behind him? Nobody. You know what I mean? Like, he's on the field.
I'd give up 2 first-rounders for Myles Garrett, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, because I believe the Cowboys, if you go do something like that, they're going to leave his butt on the field.
I heard.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, I know I like Max Crosby, but
the Eagles were trying to trade Jalen Carter to them for Myles Garrett to the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Max Crosby is a great talent. I think he's a great talent, but like I think if you go get Max Crosby, it makes me say, why you just didn't pay freaking Micah Parsons? Like you're literally going to give up the same thing you just got from Micah Parsons, a first round this year and 1 next year. Like you just break even. And the thing about it is, he's older, and you don't know. You know what I mean? Like you would have been better. It would have been a better value to just pay Micah Parsons. Like,
I think
you know what I mean? Whatever plan that you had.
surgeries.
to make up those 14 and a half sacks from losing Micah Parsons? How about just going in on that plan? Or else you should have just kept him.
Yep. Well, he's already had 8 surgeries on his knees in 7 years. So, I
Who,
mean,
Max?
yeah.
Exactly. And then I'm gonna tell you, the Cowboys have the worst luck with injured players, bro.
And they say, like, when players reach 30 years old, edge rushers, they go from, like, 10 to 12 sacks to, like, 5 to 7 usually.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm gonna tell you, I mean, everybody, everybody, I think it was a good match for Baltimore's defense, but I don't think it's a good match for Baltimore, the team. Baltimore they need an offense. Like, why is Baltimore not trying to call freaking George Pickens? Like, I don't think. I think the only Pro Bowl receiver Lamar Jackson's ever had was like Hollywood Brown or somebody. Like, bro, I don't think he's had one All Pro receiver ever in his career, and the dude's been an MVP. Like, they just can't. Like, I don't see how Max Crosby's going to help Lamar Jackson.
Well, their defense was pretty bad last year.
Yeah, but still, their best app. I still don't believe how he gonna help Lamar Jackson.
They got Derrick Henry.
And he's getting older. They need if I'm the Ravens, the Ravens should have they should have put more promise on getting like a George Pickens versus going getting another defensive player. Like the Baltimore, they've always done a really good job of getting homegrown dudes or getting guys to come in and be something that they're not. You know what I'm saying? Better than probably anybody else in the NFL. So, in my opinion, I'm happy. Listen to me. I know Max. I know a lot of people wanted him, but I'm kind of happy we didn't do it. Keep it real.
Yeah. Legal tampering starts in 9 minutes, 8 minutes.
Yep. What else? What else? What else been happening? What else has happened in the last month?
Now, used to you just had to go through the agent, to talk to players. Now,
yeah, I know what legal tampering is.
Yeah, well, the new rule this year, this is a new rule where the team can talk to the player directly via FaceTime for an hour, and they can only do 5 players. So you can talk to 5 free agents. You get 1 hour with them without the agent. Used to, you had to go through the agent to talk to the player, kind of like a lawyer.
And guess what? If I'm any agent, you know what I'm telling my player? We're declining those phone calls, or I'm sitting right beside you. Like, what is you talking about? Like, listen, any athlete that thinks that he's smart enough to get on a Zoom call and talk to a billionaire who has been doing contracts longer than he's been alive is highly an idiot and highly inflated on his own self. Because I promise you, when you was at Georgia or when you was at USC or when you was at Notre Dame, unless you were Jalen Smith, the only person I know that was studying finances when they was in college is Jalen Smith. Hence the reason why he's made $32 million in the NFL and probably got every dollar of it still in his bank account. But everybody else was studying mass communications and early and PE development. You know what I'm saying? They was, man, come on, bro. These dudes are not in college and they're trying to learn something, bro. Like, so all of a sudden now you want to get on the line with Jerry Jones. Listen to me. If that's the listen, I would only if you were like a player talking to a billionaire dude who's written 50,000 contracts in his life only benefits the freaking owner. Like, that's like Jerry Jones trying to go line up versus CeeDee Lamb for an hour.
Yeah,
CeeDee Lamb's gonna wear Jerry Jones out. He's gonna be 10 for 10.
Well, I think there's rules to the engagements. Like, you can only ask them certain questions and stuff like that.
Then
like,
what's the purpose of the conversation then? Like, are these conversations going to be like, my thing is this too, like these dudes are all like, they're just trying to legitimize something that they know is happening. It's like marijuana, bro. Like, they know people in California was never going to stop. So it's like, let's just legitimize it and try to put parameters around it. That didn't work because all you did was just make a bunch of kids that never wanted to smoke now. Why? Because now they can go anywhere and get it. Like, I tell people right now, if 80% of the people that I see at weed clinics had to go buy from my weed plug, they wouldn't be smoking weed. You want to know why? Because my plug would have robbed them. And they would have never smoked again. But guess what? What happens when you legalize a lot of things? You open up things to people who would have never did it before, would have never did it. But now they'll do it. Why? Because it's legal.
Yep.
So yeah, that tampering and Zoom, that does not benefit the athlete. It don't benefit the athlete. It don't. And if you're a smart, and I'm gonna tell you, if I'm an agent, listen, you can do it, but we ain't. We're gonna talk about Jesus. We're gonna talk about my kids. We're gonna talk about what else we're gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about my mom. We're gonna talk about everything else except for football and contracts. Why? Because I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional person at talking about contracts while I'm talking to a dude who does contracts in his sleep. Like Jerry Jones is 85 years old, but he will run. He is the Michael Jordan of contracts. Why? Because he's been signing and doing contracts for 60, 70 years. And then think about this. Think about all the contracts that Jerry Jones signs that aren't even football contracts, like real estate and businesses. Bro, come on, man. That is a whole different atmosphere. You are a fool to think you can jump on the phone with Jerry Jones and convince him that you know what you're talking about. No. No. So yeah, we can get on there and talk about why we think the Seattle Seahawks should have won the Super Bowl. We can talk about that. But we ain't talking about
Talking
the
about
X's
my
and
last
O's or what you gonna
championship.
do. No, we're not gonna do that. And I wouldn't even advise my client to get on there talking about that. You could get on this phone call, you could talk to Jerry Jones for an hour, but you need to talk about Jesus and your life with Christ. But do not let me hear you talk about nothing that got to do with a contract and you want to come over here. You want to know why? Because Jerry Jones is you. You know how hey, George Pickens, you know how you can jump up in the air and do all these crazy moves and make him do all these spectacular catches. You want to know why? Because you're that dude. Well, guess what, George Pickens? That's Jerry Jones in the contract room. He's you. He can make contracts dance and wiggle and spin around and all types of stuff because he's been doing it for 80 years, bro.
Okay.
You're like, athletes need to understand where they're professionals at. You're not professional. You're not a professional in the contract room. No, you're not.
It says the player's agent must participate, though. So the agent is there, and contracts cannot be signed until the new league year begins. The new direct contact rule for the first time clubs may conduct one video or phone call, maximum of 1 hour, with up to 5 free agents.
So
Agent
yeah, that's
participation.
listen. And you know what that means? You know what that really means? They've been doing it.
This allows coaches and management to discuss schemes, roles, and pitch the team directly to the player. Teams can make travel arrangements with players for visits upon agreeing to terms. Only applies to impeding unrestricted free agents (UFAs) and forbidden actions. Players cannot sign contracts until the official start of the league year, 4 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, March 11th. So it doesn't come official till Wednesday, so they can back out of it. So let's say they make a deal today or tomorrow, they have until Wednesday to change their mind.
I mean, when the league does something like that, that just means that it's been happening. That's all that means.
It's been
So instead of
happening
them
anyway.
trying to
Yeah.
listen to me, instead of them trying to use money to find out who's doing that and going and punishing them, they're just gonna let everybody do it. You know what I mean? They're just legalizing it so that people would, because they know people are gonna do it. It's like going to Texas and saying, "Hey, man, we're gonna take your guns." No, you're not. So we're just gonna make a rule to make it easier because we know that there's just certain things that are not gonna happen. So I just, like that just lets me know that this was already happening, and the league is just trying to make a way to make it legalized so that they don't have to, like what they did with the weed, with the marijuana rule. The reason why they're doing the way this testing is set up that way because they were spending so much money on trying to catch people, and people
Yeah.
are still doing it. You know what
Anyway,
I'm saying? So now the NFL can just put their resources in something else. Why? Because now you can legally do it and nobody cares because they already know you're doing it.
the prohibition of alcohol, same thing, you know?
Yeah, they already know you're going to do it. So it's like, why put all this money into trying to find out who's doing it and then this and other? They're still doing it, bro. You can listen to me. If I'm Jerry Jones and I call Myles Garrett on his phone call and he answers and talks to me, the only way they're going to find out is someone tells. That's it. Well, I mean, like, you still have your Fourth Amendment. So it's like, how do they know these things? because someone gets mad and they don't get what they want and they release that information. That's it.
Yep.
You know what I
Mike,
mean? So it's like
same thing
the
with
only
Mike.
reason why these things are happening is because it's already happening. So they're just legalizing it. What's up
Yep.
with you, little baby? What's up with you, Earl? What's up with you, Thomas? What's up with you, Chris? What's up with you, Darren? What's up with you, my guy? Somebody said he said talk your ish West
Legal
Coast. The
tampering
money
is
they're
official
paying
right now.
Aubrey could have went to a better to better our defense. Our defense is what needs work. Facts. Hey, shout out to my boy Landlord with a $5 super check, man. What is up, my guy? Text you the other day. I'm sorry that I said this all late, but my comments, I was doing the comments wrong, so I was pushing down when I was supposed to be pushing up. So I just saw your comment right now. So I appreciate you, my boy, for the super chat, my boy. Let's do some work, man.
Free agents have officially started.
He said, bro, we are Cowboy fans, not players fans. Duh, we will be excited for the players, but I was a Cowboy fan before these players were you named. Facts, me too.
Hey, man,
Absolutely.
Rashawn Gary is a beast, man. I think they compared him to D-Law. They think he'll do better on a new team with a fresh start, and him and Kenny Clark already have chemistry together. So I think this is a good pickup, man, for the Cowboys.
I
I,
mean, he got to do better in a whole nother league, in a whole nother conference and everything. I mean, man, like I don't ever want to base someone's success on another man's success unless it's the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Because this is defense. Kenny Clark ain't gonna be on the field like that. Kenny Clark plays on a rotation. You know what I'm saying? So I would hate to think that he only plays well when Kenny Clark is on the field. You know what I'm saying? And Kenny Clark is also, he 30 years old, man. He about to be on his way out. I'm not saying no time soon, but about to be. I would think this is Kenny Clark's last contract. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, let's just hope that the Cowboys get more value than what they paid for.
well, he had 7.5 sacks last year. The year before,
Someone says we financially had no choice but to tag him. Yes, no. Actually, tagging someone is worse because this is the thing. If you only have a little bit of money, do you want to pay all of it right now, or do you want to finance it? You want to finance it. Why go buy a car for $40,000 when you can just put $1,000 down and make $300 payments? You know what I'm saying? Financing it always works better than paying something all the way up. A 2-year deal is basically a 1-year deal would approve it. So yeah, we'll never sign 2-year deals. You always want to sign something 4 years or plus.
yeah,
Everyone knows the routine hit that like that. But appreciate you, my boy. Appreciate. He said, "What's up, West Coast family?" That's what's awesome pick up for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, we got to see how it works out, though. You got to see how it works out. But hey, Mike, man, I'm about to get out of here in about 5 more minutes.
all right. There was a report this morning that we might be getting Trey Hendrickson too with Rashawn Gary, but we will see.
I mean, Trey Henderson, man, he coming off of Henderson. That's the who is that? That's the defensive end from Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, how old is he?
He's 31, man. He's
There
old.
you go. And he's coming off an injured season. I think he had 7.5 sacks last year. What did you say about older players? What happened to them?
They go downhill.
And then my question is this: Are
I'm not
you? I
paying him
mean,
more than 25 million. I'll tell you that.
I mean,
He's wanting
I like it.
35.
Listen, I like it because it's a win now mentality. But my question is this: What type of money is he looking to make at 31 years old?
I'm not going to get into a bidding war for him. I'll tell you that.
Facts.
Because
I'm not either.
you can pick up a Reuben Bain or a Sam Howell or one of these young defensive edge rushers. And
Because listen to me, we got to also stop judging players off of who they were or what we want them to be and judge them off of who they are right now. Right now, he is a 7.5 sack guy at 31 years old. Pay him for that. You can't pay him for what he did 2 years. I know it was injury, but listen to me, you don't know if he's going to be that guy.
Well, that's how Seattle won the Super Bowl. All of them had like 7, 8, 9 sacks, or 6, 7, 8 sacks. It wasn't just one person that stood out and had 15 sacks. It was a bunch of guys, rotating in that are, Rashawn Gary's level. They had D-Law and some other guys that are about that level. and they all had about 7 or 8 sacks apiece.
Facts.
So it was
I
more
think
like
that's what
by
makes
committee.
more sense, especially at 31 coming off of an injury. Because you guys, we trade for Henderson, man. We go get this dude. You guys are going to be thinking he's a 17 and a half sacks guy, which I believe he is. But I promise you, the Cowboys are not going to pay him like he's a 17. They're not going to want to pay him like that. They're going to want to pay him like he's a 31-year-old guy coming off of a 7.5 sack season on an injury. That's how they're going to want to pay for him.
I'd
And
rather
that's how
go
you
get
should, because that's who he is right now until he proves otherwise.
I'd
I
rather
don't
go
want to
get
pay
Devin
him
Lloyd.
an exuberant amount of money so that he can then go pay for it. No, if that's the case, pay George Pickens because he's already done that.
Yeah, we need to sign our own players, man. And I'd
Facts.
rather
That
go
needs to
get
be
a good
first and
linebacker.
foremost.
Like they need to go get Devin Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the best linebacker right now in free agency. Devin
Out
Lloyd.
of Jacksonville,
Mm-hmm. He
yeah,
had
he
like
won $20 million a year. You listen, you pay Osia Digazor $20 million a year. I don't see why you can't pay that dude. Linebacker, you need him.
whenever Dallas has a good middle linebacker, their team is good.
Man, that's every team, bro. Ask the
Yeah.
49ers. Ask, ask the Baltimore Ravens. You know what I'm saying? Go look at the best. Look at the best. Listen to me. All the best linebackers in the league are on good teams. You want to know why? Because they make the team better.
They're saying Nakobe Dean, but that guy's like 5'11" and 230 pounds. I don't
I
know.
like the kid from Jacksonville.
Yeah, me too. And then they might get a linebacker in the draft too, like CJ Allen or um, Coach Schottenheimer is going up to Texas Tech for their pro day, I think March the 24th. And he's going to go look at all those players because they have a lot of good players. Lee Hunter, who's the number one D tackle that's probably going to go in the draft. Also, they have, you know, David Bailey, the number one edge rusher that might go. And then they have, of course, Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker. And then they have another end named Height, who's really good. They say he might even be better than Bailey. But
Mm-hmm.
so he's going to go check them out. We're definitely looking at these Texas Tech players. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't draft one.
That'd be nice.
Yep.
Hey,
But yeah,
I'm about to get off here, but before I
me
do,
too,
Mike,
man.
I'm gonna need you to take that Micah Parsons picture from the right, and it's time to go, brother. We can
Uh,
keep it up. We can keep it in the personal stash, but gotta let it go. Gotta let it
look,
go, brother.
man, hey, I got him to sign it, so
I know you did, but Mike, it's time to let it go.
I'll give it to a Green Bay fan, man. And
Heck no, what you mean? You don't give it away. You gonna keep it. You never know, man. Micah might double back and be a Cowboy one day. You know what I mean? I could easily, that type of stuff happens, but it's just not today. You know what I mean?
hey, the relationship we have with Green Bay at this point, you never know, man.
And the Cowboys love bringing people back, so I would not be surprised if he came back and retired a Cowboy. I would not be surprised,
Yeah,
especially if he don't win a Super Bowl in Green Bay, which I don't see it happening. So you know what I'm saying?
no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of business calls too. And so, yeah, I better go. But yeah, man, y'all subscribe to West Coast's channel, man. Subscribe to our channels, like, share this video. Um, legal tampering just started, so we got all day today to see what happens. But I'll probably go live again here later this afternoon, man, or this evening.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'll send you the link, man, or maybe we can jump on with your family later.
Sounds good, man. I'm down for it.
All right, man.
I love you, man.
All right, man.
You
Have
guys
a
already know
blessed
what it
day.
is. Never look down because the stars up. Peace.
All right, peace.